20 child stars who completely vanished from Hollywood. Hollywood has a long history of turning children into stars overnight. Their faces appear everywhere, on TV screens, in magazines, in commercials. But childhood fame is a double-edged sword. While some grow into successful adult careers, many disappear from the limelight, making life-altering decisions to pursue education, personal growth, or simply peace. Here's a closer look at 20 child stars who vanished from Hollywood and the paths they chose. 1. Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Jonathan Taylor Thomas was one of the brightest teen stars of the 1990s. Born Jonathan Taylor Weiss on September 8, 1981, in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, he moved with his family to California and began acting at a young age. His breakthrough came as Randy Taylor on Home Improvement, where his charm and wit made him a fan favorite. He also lent his voice to young Simba in Disney's The Lion King, a role that became iconic and cemented his place in the hearts of audiences worldwide. Despite his fame, Jonathan made a deliberate decision to step back from acting at the height of his career. In 1998, he left Home Improvement before its final season, a decision that surprised fans and colleagues alike. Jonathan wanted to focus on his education and experience life beyond Hollywood. He attended Harvard and later Columbia University, studying cultural anthropology and immersing himself in academic life. This break from acting allowed him to cultivate a sense of normalcy rarely afforded to child stars. After completing his studies, Jonathan returned briefly to acting, appearing in guest roles on shows like Smallville and 8 Simple Rules. However, he has largely remained private, focusing on writing, directing, and personal projects. His choice demonstrates that stepping away can be a conscious, empowering decision, allowing one to grow outside of the spotlight and avoid the pitfalls many child stars face. Even today, Jonathan Taylor Thomas maintains a degree of mystique. He rarely appears in public and has made it clear that his happiness is no longer tied to fame. His story is a testament to prioritizing personal growth, education, and well-being over the fleeting allure of Hollywood stardom. 2. Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes became a household name as a child star on Nickelodeon's All That, and later, The Amanda Show. Born on April 3, 1986 in Thousand Oaks, California, she began acting at age 7 and quickly showcased a natural comedic talent. Transitioning into film, Amanda starred in hits like Big Fat Liar, She's the Man, and Hairspray, solidifying her status as one of Hollywood's brightest young stars of the 2000s. Despite her career success, Amanda's life was marked by increasing pressure and scrutiny. By the early 2000s, she faced legal issues, public controversies, and mental health challenges that forced her to step away from Hollywood entirely. This period was both difficult and necessary, as Amanda sought to rebuild her life away from the cameras. During this hiatus, she focused on her personal well-being, entering mental health facilities and gradually reclaiming stability. Amanda also pursued education during her time away, graduating from the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in 2019. Her dedication to self-improvement reflects a desire to redefine her identity beyond acting, proving that stepping away can lead to empowerment rather than failure. Since the end of her conservatorship in 2022, Amanda has cautiously returned to public life. She engages with fans on social media and has expressed a desire to return to acting someday, but on her terms. Her story underscores the importance of mental health, personal boundaries, and the strength it takes to rebuild after years of public scrutiny. 3. Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin is one of the most iconic child actors in Hollywood history. Born on August 26, 1980 in New York City, he rose to fame with Home Alone at the age of 10, capturing audiences with his wit, charm, and unforgettable performance. Films like My Girl, The Good Son, and Richie Rich followed, solidifying him as a household name throughout the early 1990s. However, Culkin's fame came with significant challenges. The pressures of public life, constant media scrutiny, and family conflicts led him to step away from acting as a teenager. Unlike many child stars, Culkin did not leave Hollywood due to scandal or burnout alone. He simply desired privacy and control over his life. In adulthood, he explored creative ventures on his own terms. Culkin formed a comedy rock band, co-founded the satirical website and podcast Bunny Ears, and made selective acting appearances. He has emphasized that stepping back allowed him to regain control of his career and personal life, showing that leaving Hollywood doesn't necessarily mean giving up on creative expression. Today, Culkin enjoys a low-key lifestyle, far removed from the intense fame of his youth. His story exemplifies the importance of self-determination and creative freedom, proving that child stars can survive and even thrive when they choose paths outside the mainstream Hollywood machine. 4. Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple is perhaps the most legendary child star of all time. Born on April 23, 1928 in Santa Monica, California, she became Hollywood's sweetheart during the Great Depression. Her singing, dancing, and radiant smile captivated audiences worldwide, and she starred in hits like Bright Eyes, Curly Top, and Heidi. Shirley's performances were not only entertaining, they provided hope and joy during a time of economic hardship. Despite her unparalleled fame, Shirley made a conscious decision to retire from acting while still young, stepping away from Hollywood at just 22 years old. She wanted to avoid the pitfalls of being typecast and sought a life beyond the film industry. Her decision reflected foresight and maturity rarely seen in young stars, proving that leaving the limelight can be a positive, intentional choice. After leaving acting, Shirley Temple pivoted to public service, serving as a U.S. ambassador to Ghana and Czechoslovakia, and later as chief of protocol of the United States. Her career in diplomacy showed that child stars can channel their skills and fame into meaningful adult roles, contributing to society in impactful ways. Temple's story remains a shining example of a child star who navigated fame responsibly, intentionally shaping her life beyond Hollywood. She demonstrated that success isn't defined solely by continued stardom, but by choosing purpose and fulfillment. 5. Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman was best known as Arnold Jackson on the sitcom Different Strokes, which aired from 1978 to 1986. Born on February 8, 1968, in Zion, Illinois, Gary faced a difficult childhood, battling kidney disease that limited his growth. His small stature and natural comedic timing helped him become an iconic television figure, beloved by millions. While Coleman achieved fame early, his life was complicated by financial struggles, legal disputes, and health issues, which eventually forced him to step back from acting. Despite his challenges, he continued to make occasional appearances in commercials, reality shows, and public events. Gary's experience highlights the stark reality that child stardom can come with pressures and vulnerabilities that persist into adulthood. Even though he did not enjoy the same level of adult success as some peers, Gary Coleman remained a cultural icon, remembered for his catchphrase, "What you talkin' about, Willis?" His story illustrates the difficulty of transitioning from child star to adult actor and the importance of personal and financial support systems for young celebrities. Sadly, Coleman passed away in 2010, leaving behind a legacy that combines brilliance and tragedy, showing the fragility of child fame when accompanied by limited guidance and support. 6. Danielle Fishel. Danielle Fishel is best known for her portrayal of Topanga Lawrence on Boy Meets World, a character that became an emblem of teenage intelligence, wit, and charm. Born on May 5, 1981 in Mesa, Arizona, Danielle began acting at a young age, but it was her role as Topanga that catapulted her into the public eye. Fans admired her not just for her talent, but also for the authenticity and relatability she brought to the role. As Danielle grew older, she made a strategic decision to transition away from acting in front of the camera, instead focusing on hosting, producing, and working behind the scenes. She wanted to remain involved in entertainment, but without the intense scrutiny that had come with her teenage fame. Her career choices reflect a conscious effort to maintain control over her professional life while avoiding burnout. Danielle eventually reprised her iconic role in Girl Meets World, 2014 to 2017, giving longtime fans a nostalgic return to Topanga while balancing other career pursuits. She also embraced personal projects, advocating for mental health and women's empowerment, demonstrating that stepping back from acting doesn't mean leaving one's influence behind. Her journey is an example of a child star navigating the transition to adulthood thoughtfully, showing that deliberate career choices can provide both fulfillment and stability. 7. Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan rose to fame as a child, starring in The Parent Trap, 1998, and quickly becoming one of Hollywood's most promising young actresses. Born on July 2, 1986 in New York City, Lindsay's talent, beauty, and charisma propelled her into teen stardom with films like Freaky Friday, 2003, and Mean Girls, 2004, cementing her as a cultural phenomenon. However, Lohan's teenage and early adult years were marked by publicized personal struggles, including legal issues, substance abuse, and intense media scrutiny. By her early 20s, these pressures forced her to step back from Hollywood, taking time away from acting to focus on recovery and rebuilding her personal life. During her hiatus, Lindsay explored various ventures outside traditional acting, including fashion and nightclub businesses. She also engaged in public interviews reflecting on the pitfalls of fame and the importance of mental health, showing her growth and introspection. Today, Lindsay has returned selectively to acting and business projects, navigating Hollywood on her own terms. Her story demonstrates the complexity of transitioning from child star to adult life, highlighting resilience, self-discovery, and the value of taking breaks to regain control over one's trajectory. 8. Dustin Diamond. Dustin Diamond gained fame as Screech Powers on Saved by the Bell, one of the most iconic TV characters of the late 1980s and early 1990s. Born on January 7, 1977 in San Jose, California, Dustin's portrayal of the nerdy, lovable character made him instantly recognizable and beloved by fans. As an adult, Dustin faced challenges in breaking free from the typecasting that Screech imposed. While he appeared in spin-offs and reality shows, legal issues and public controversies overshadowed his career. He continued to make appearances but largely stayed away from mainstream Hollywood projects. Despite struggles, Dustin explored other creative ventures, including stand-up comedy and autobiographical projects reflecting on his experiences as a child star. His life story illustrates the difficulties many child actors face when trying to establish adult careers, especially when their earlier roles are so indelibly linked to their identity. Dustin passed away in 2021, leaving behind a complicated legacy, one of early fame, struggles with public perception, and efforts to forge a new path outside of his childhood persona. His journey reminds us that child stardom often comes with lifelong challenges. 9. Tatiana Ali. Tatiana Ali is best remembered as Ashley Banks on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a role that showcased her charm and acting talent. Born on January 24, 1979, in Brooklyn, New York, Tatiana entered the industry at a young age and quickly became a beloved figure in television. Her character was not only funny and likable, but also served as a role model for young viewers, embodying intelligence and independence. After Fresh Prince ended, Tatiana made a conscious decision to expand her career beyond acting, pursuing music and recording several albums. This pivot allowed her to explore new forms of creativity and personal expression, giving her more control over her career. She also became involved in activism and advocacy, balancing her entertainment career with work on social issues. By doing so, Tatiana demonstrated that child stars can redefine their identity and remain influential even after leaving their early acting roles behind. Her story is a testament to the power of reinvention. Tatiana Ali's deliberate choices highlight the opportunities for child stars to grow into multifaceted adults who navigate careers and personal lives on their own terms. 10. Jaleel White. Jaleel White became a household name with his portrayal of Steve Urkel on Family Matters. Born on November 27, 1976, in Culver City, California, Jaleel's comedic timing and physical humor turned him into one of the most recognizable child stars of the 1990s. His catchphrases, glasses, and quirky personality became pop culture staples. While Urkel's popularity was undeniable, it also typecast Jaleel, making it difficult to secure roles outside of the character. Recognizing this challenge, he transitioned into voice acting, commercials, and behind-the-scenes production work, allowing him to continue his career without being confined to the shadow of Steve Urkel. Jaleel also embraced personal projects, including interviews, speaking engagements, and occasional acting roles in independent productions. His choices illustrate that child stars can maintain creative relevance by exploring different facets of the industry. White's journey underscores the importance of adaptability. While he may no longer be a household name in the mainstream, his strategic career decisions show that stepping away from a defining role can lead to sustainable and fulfilling work. 11. Christina Ricci. Christina Ricci became a household name with her role as Wednesday Addams in The Addams Family, 1991, and its sequel. Born on February 12, 1980, in Santa Monica, California, she quickly gained recognition for her darkly comic style, precocious talent, and ability to portray complex emotions. Despite early fame, Christina was deliberate about choosing roles that would allow her to transition into adult acting without being typecast. She embraced independent films, cult classics, and dramatic roles like Black Snake Moan and Monster. Her careful role selection illustrates that child stars can navigate the difficult transition to adult careers by curating projects. Beyond acting, Ricci prioritized her personal life, maintaining privacy and avoiding constant media exposure. Her thoughtful approach allowed her to remain relevant in Hollywood while avoiding burnout and public overexposure. Christina Ricci's story exemplifies that child stars can successfully evolve by balancing career choices with personal growth. Her career reflects strategic planning, selective engagement, and maintaining creative integrity, making her one of the few who navigate stardom gracefully. 12. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Joseph Gordon-Levitt began as a child actor on Third Rock from the Sun, but he did not allow early fame to define his entire career. Born February 17, 1981, in Los Angeles, California, Joseph quickly became known for his intelligence, charm, and versatility. Recognizing the limitations of child fame, he made a conscious decision to pursue more serious roles and expand creatively. Joseph attended Columbia University while continuing to act selectively. He later founded Hit Record, a collaborative production company, to exercise creative control over projects, showing a desire to shape his own career path rather than rely on Hollywood's whims. Gordon-Levitt's adult career includes critically acclaimed performances in films like Inception, Looper, and 500 Days of Summer. His trajectory demonstrates that with careful planning and education, child stars can transition into respected adult actors without losing their sense of self. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's story highlights that stepping back from mainstream child fame can provide space for personal growth, education, and meaningful creative work. 13. Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman rose to fame as a teenager with Léon, The Professional, 1994. Born on June 9, 1981, in Jerusalem, Israel, she quickly earned acclaim for her intelligence, discipline, and nuanced performances. Rather than immediately capitalizing on her fame, Natalie made the uncommon decision to prioritize education, enrolling at Harvard University and earning a degree in psychology while continuing to act in select films. This approach allowed her to maintain intellectual growth and avoid being consumed by Hollywood pressures. Portman's adult career includes Academy Award-winning roles, Black Swan, blockbuster franchises, Star Wars prequels, and political activism. By balancing fame with personal priorities, she demonstrates that child actors can achieve long-term success by pacing their careers strategically. Her story reinforces that education and self-discovery are critical. Natalie Portman's ability to step back, reflect, and make deliberate career choices shows the power of planning and self-determination in Hollywood. 14. Kirsten Dunst. Kirsten Dunst became famous as a child in Interview with the Vampire, 1994. Born on April 30th, 1982 in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, she captivated audiences with maturity beyond her years and earned critical acclaim. Dunst consciously navigated her transition to adult roles, selecting projects like Marie Antoinette and Melancholia that challenged her acting skills while distancing her from teen and child roles. Her careful selection reflects a strategic approach to evolving her image in Hollywood. She also took breaks from acting when necessary, focusing on personal life and growth. These choices enabled her to maintain credibility and avoid overexposure, while continuing to act in major and independent projects. Kirsten Dunst's journey shows that child stars can reinvent themselves through thoughtful role selection, patience, and personal prioritization, ensuring longevity in a notoriously fickle industry. 15. Joseph Mazzello. Joseph Mazzello, best known for his role in Jurassic Park, 1993, began acting as a child and quickly became one of Hollywood's recognizable young talents. Born on September 21st, 1983, in Rhinebeck, New York, he balanced his early career with schooling, yet the pressures of fame were significant. Mazzello made a deliberate shift from acting to directing and producing, choosing to explore behind-the-scenes roles rather than continue seeking on-camera fame. This transition allowed him to remain creative while avoiding the typecasting and public scrutiny that often trap former child stars. He occasionally returned to acting, taking roles in films like The Social Network, 2010, and TV projects, but always maintained control over his career direction. Joseph's career path emphasizes that child stars can remain in the industry without needing to stay in front of the camera. Mazzello's story reflects intentional career planning and adaptability, showing that fame can be managed and redirected in ways that suit personal and professional goals. 16. Jonathan Brandis. Jonathan Brandis became a teen idol with Sequest DSV and films like Ladybugs. Born April 13, 1976 in Danbury, Connecticut, Brandis exhibited immense talent from a young age. Unfortunately, Brandis struggled to transition into adult acting, facing typecasting and the pressures of fame. Despite his efforts to continue working in the industry, he eventually withdrew from acting, illustrating the emotional challenges and vulnerabilities child stars often encounter. Tragically, Brandis died by suicide in 2003 at age 27. His story underscores the critical importance of mental health support, mentorship, and resources for young actors navigating fame. Jonathan Brandis's legacy is a somber reminder that while child stardom brings visibility and acclaim, it also carries risks that require vigilance, compassion, and support. 17. Lea Thompson. Lea Thompson rose to fame with the Back to the Future trilogy. Born May 31, 1961 in Rochester, Minnesota, she started as a dancer before transitioning to acting, gaining fame as a young adult star. Rather than being confined by her early success, Lea moved into directing and producing. She selectively chose projects, balancing work with her family life and personal interests. This conscious pivot shows that child stars can build long-term versatile careers while maintaining autonomy and creative satisfaction. Thompson also returned occasionally to acting in television roles, showing that one can remain connected to the industry without being consumed by the pressures of constant public attention. Her story demonstrates strategic planning and intentionality in career management. 18. Fred Savage. Fred Savage became an icon with The Wonder Years, where his role as Kevin Arnold earned him critical acclaim. Born July 9, 1976 in Illinois, Savage started acting young and quickly navigated the challenges of child stardom. Fred chose to transition into directing and producing as an adult, stepping back from acting on screen to maintain creative involvement without public scrutiny. This move allowed him to remain active in the industry while avoiding the traps of typecasting. He also selectively returned to acting, balancing career and personal life. Savage's story shows that child stars can remain engaged in entertainment in sustainable ways, prioritizing long-term fulfillment over immediate fame. 19. Melissa Joan Hart. Melissa Joan Hart, born April 18, 1976 in Smithtown, New York, became famous as Clarissa in Clarissa Explains It All and later as Sabrina in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She captured audiences with her charm, humor, and relatability. Hart strategically balanced acting with family life, choosing projects that allowed her to maintain stability while still pursuing creative fulfillment. She also moved into directing and producing, giving her creative control and longevity in the industry. Melissa's story demonstrates that child stars can craft a sustainable career by making deliberate choices, balancing professional ambition with personal priorities. 20. Anna Chlumsky. Anna Chlumsky, born December 3, 1980 in Chicago, became a child star with My Girl. Her poignant performance captured audiences, but she chose to leave Hollywood temporarily to attend college, prioritizing education over continuous acting. After completing her studies, she returned as an adult in Veep, earning critical acclaim and demonstrating her growth as both an actress and individual. Anna's deliberate hiatus allowed her to step away from fame, focus on personal development, and return on her own terms. Her story is a prime example of strategic career management, showing that child stars can take breaks, cultivate life skills, and successfully re-enter the industry with renewed purpose and perspective.